Well, they are the lifeline for families in our community, and this week we're recognizing the tireless efforts of our EMS workers. And for two men, their dedication to the job keeps bringing them back no matter how hard it gets.
They are the front line of the front line, so including transporting patients in a small box and the higher risk of transmission. I mean, they're really putting themselves out there to help the community.
Admired by their colleagues in the ER.
They literally put themselves in harm's way each and every day.
No run is the same, no day is typical.
In the field, you go into situations that can be very unstable and can be unsafe. And here lately, a lot of violence, gunshot wounds, car wrecks.
We stay busy pretty much 24 hours a day.
And if they're busy, these guys are too.
What's the call?
Unconscious at Millville.
To say Joe Hamilton and Jason Rivera are partners
We're like brothers.
is an understatement.
I mean, we're ride or die.
They've sat side by side for the better part of 2 decades.
I wouldn't be the EMT I am today if I hadn't been riding with him.
A career that spanned nearly 30 years for both in and around Bullitt and Jefferson counties.
People think we just take people to the hospital. Well, I mean, we do a lot more than that. You know, we're not a taxi. And 9 times out of 10, they're standing up and they're working on a patient. You know, and he's having to intubate going, 60, 70 miles an hour down the road, and it can be stressful.
I think people don't realize the danger that we see every day. I've had to crawl in with an upside down car, and it was filling with water and gas, and the guy was unconscious, and we got him out, pulled him out, and about 5 minutes after that, we were driving back. We had to go turn around and come back the other way, and the car was fully involved in fire.
On Dixie Highway coming up on Greenwood Road, we got knocked out on a cardiac arrest. Got there, did our job, performed CPR, got the patient stabilized, got her to the hospital. Before we left the hospital, the patient had regained pulses and blood pressure and stuff like that. So we were like, okay, this is good, but what's going to be the outcome? She walked out of the hospital 3 weeks later.
They came up to us a year or so later at a gas station. We were getting gas in the ambulance, and we're crying, and we hugged it out, and it was just good to see that you actually made a difference. This is where I was meant to be. I know it in my heart, and working with him, we've gotten to the point where we don't like to work without each other.
Like any close relationship, they have their moments.
We had one not too long ago. We had a rider with us. Well, I think we
scared him.
We scared the Jesus out of him. But after it was said and done, it's like he got in the truck and we hugged it out and everything was cool. We went on the rest of the day.
In Butyl, Brooke Hash, WHAS 11 News.
Now, Joe and Jason actually retired from Butyl Fire and EMS years ago, but it didn't last very long. They both came back in 2018 on one condition: that they remain partners.